my name's Molly Avery and I'm a PhD candidate in the Department for International History, and I'm just coming into my last few months now. So I'm a historian of the Latin American extreme right, and specifically I focus on the 1970s and 1980s, and I look at the connections between the Southern Cone, so Chile and Argentina, and Central America, and the ways the dictatorships in those countries interacted with one another during the peak of the civil wars in Central America. So the most important archives, I would say, are in Chile and Argentina themselves. So I spent a lot of time in the archives of the foreign ministries in both countries. I also did some research in Central America, mostly in non-state archives, so a couple of charities. And I also spent about 3 months in the United States. There's some important archives, in particular at the Hoover Institution, which is attached to Stanford University. So that was kind of the physical research trips. And then I've kind of since, particularly with the pandemic, backed that up with online sources as well, so from various archives across the world, really. So we're entitled to about £400 a year for research expenses, which I've managed to max out kind of every year. And then on top of that, another kind of top tip at LSE, there's a university level pot of money for conferences. So I've tried to tie my research into conferences wherever possible, and then it's up to £1,000 a year that they'll help towards conference expenditure as well. So I've used both of those. So I actually did a master's here in the International History Department in 2015 to 2016. And my current supervisor, Dr. Tanya Harmer, was actually on leave that year, so I was really gutted when I arrived, and there wasn't Latin American history on offer. But the other courses I did, I really enjoyed, and I got to know those professors who then encouraged me to get in touch with Tanya ahead of kind of the next year. I took a year out in between. And so I've been put in touch with her and talked to her a lot, and she read over my proposal and things and gave me some hints before I then applied for the PhD. So I think probably the biggest challenge for me was coming into the dissertation research. One aspect of my work would focus on Chile and Chilean involvement in Central America. There was very little secondary literature on. So for that one, I kind of went in very blind to the archives, and there my supervisor was brilliant in particular because she'd done a lot of work in Chile and was able to point me kind of in the right directions. And then I think the other thing is my research uses documents. I think probably about 80% are in Spanish, and I've benefited a lot from support from the department in kind of keeping up Spanish practice throughout the years. But essentially, whenever I've wanted language lessons, they've been able to fund those for me. So that's helped me kind of keep that fresh, especially now when I haven't been able to go to Latin America for more than 2 years. After I graduate, I intend to apply for jobs in academia, ideally something involving teaching. As a PhD student, I've done 2 years of teaching in the department. I'm about to start my 3rd year teaching. And I'd say it's been one of my highlights, so ideally I'd stay in this area afterwards.